100% footy, we are on the road tonight. The Wild West, Gus.
We certainly are. We're as far away from Queensland and New South Wales as you can get. We're on the other side of the island.
Oh, I love it. And Optus Stadium, that's the scene for the big one on Wednesday night. Your complete preview tonight, Laurie Daley, Cameron Munster, catching up with the Perth Bears CEO as well, and the Hello Sport Boys. Bit of dribble with them too, Gus.
Absolutely, and we've got the goat and the gal too. I'm into those two tonight.
Ready to go. Rock and roll time here on our 100% footy. Let's do this.
New South Wales always thought they were better than Queensland.
I laugh when Queenslanders say Origin means more to them.
That actually really pisses me off.
Australia's greatest sporting rivalry.
We really understood who we were playing for.
Greg Inglis is running away from them.
This is Adam Mogg, a shock inclusion in the Queensland side.
Adam Mogg, try number 2 on the move.
We genuinely believe that we're representing the Queensland people.
It just gives me goosebumps just talking about it now.
England has gone again.
The players out there, you can't blame them for hating their opposition.
That's already on. They're exchanging blows over there.
That's the rivalry, that's the passion, that's that hate.
Willing to bleed for one another, willing to lay our bodies on the line, no matter the circumstances.
Oh, good shot.
In the dressing sheds is where it all starts.
The adrenaline's pumping. These are the games you absolutely dream about.
Enormous amounts of nerves prior to kick-off.
The air is really thick. You can cut it with a knife.
You can hardly hear a pin drop.
Hearing that 2-minute bell and you knew it was time to get out there and it was game on.
The noise here is deafening.
If you're not ready to play at that point, you'll get found out.
You got to take your mind and your body to places it's never been.
Oh, he's in a lot of trouble. That was sheer will.
You could leave an Origin legacy here that not many people get to do.
Put on that jersey, realise who you're representing, and you'll play the game of your life.
It's your time. Go out and win it.
State of Origin Rugby League, and this is the scene for it on Wednesday night. Must win for Queensland. The Blues, can they wrap it up with a game in hand? Time will tell, but welcome to our special 100% footy edition on the road here at Optus Stadium. James Bracey with you alongside Paul Gallen.
Hey, Brace.
Hello, Gal. Good to see you, Cameron Smith.
Hello, Brace.
Nice to see you as always. Feel good, top dog?
James Bracey, how you doing?
Another 2 points in the bank.
It's only early, mate.
No, we're midway through the season.
You
It's
got to stop
over.
saying that. You got to stop saying
We're only
that.
halfway through the season.
Well,
What round is it?
15.
15.
Yeah, well, halfway through the season.
And you got the bye this week too, so another
You
2
love
points.
those byes,
Yeah,
don't you?
Bank those 2 points.
They don't mean anything, James.
Still haven't. Okay, before we get stuck into State of Origin, what did we learn from the weekend that was? Gus?
I learned we stopped the game for lightning. Lightning, had a big lightning storm out there at Homebush yesterday. I thought it was way off in the distance, but they didn't take any chances. There was plenty of rain coming down, but the ground official came out and said everyone off, crowd under the shelter, and we had a couple of breaks. We had that just before half time, then a half-time break. Yeah, quite unusual this time of year to be getting that sort of lightning bolts around the area.
Didn't stop the dogs, though. Can't stop the dogs.
Dog beats rabbit. Well done, Gus. And the 6 p.m. news started at 6:30 last night on the back of that one as well. What about you, Cameron?
Well, what I learned from the weekend is that, well, the dogs, we just spoke about the dogs, they're up and flying at the moment. They're up and about, sitting on top of the ladder. 11 wins, 2 losses. But, boys, you need a new barber. Have a look at this haircut. Jake Turpin, what's doing? Come on.
It's like the negative sideburns.
What? Just no
sideburns.
No sideburns, please. Holy, look at that.
That is.
He's an angry man too.
I would be too if
And
I
in
had
the
hair
bin.
like that.
And last week too, the signing when Lockie Galvin signed that haircut, the bowl,
Yep.
the bowl.
That was a bowl.
It's in
wasn't
at the
it?
moment.
Yeah, it is.
thing.
My young
What-
bloke's got it,
what's-
actually. It is in. I
what's-
don't know why.
What's doing?
No idea.
You keep yours very simple, Gal. What did you
Very.
learn?
I learned that Josh Papali'i isn't the only big pupper we have in the game. Now, last week, James Bracey was on the swimming duties. So we had Emma Lawrence fill in for us, and she done a fantastic job last week, but he was very, very quick to let us know that we wouldn't be on the main channel. He said, and quote, the main channel follows Big Pupper.
Yeah.
So here he is here live on Gem.
Oh, Jim.
On Gem.
We're up
Big
wrong.
Pupper. He's named himself Big Pupper.
I didn't name that myself.
Yes, you did.
Good bit of banter. Thank you, Gal.
Thank you.
Right under the bus.
Wait, that's actually embarrassing.
Yes, big papa.
Exactly. I look after him, and then he's just trying to embarrass me, Gus. Not fair.
Yeah. Did you or did you not call yourself Big Papa? Yeah, thank you.
After the show, he kept saying what a good job Emma did.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was meaning by that.
I see what's happening here. I said, just pull that knife out of my back and away we go. Now, of course, State of Origin number 2. It is all about Wednesday night, exclusive, live and free here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. If there are any tickets available, get on there, nrl.com/tickets and be a part of it. But you've got the best seat in the house from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see the Blues try and wrap it up. The Maroons try and push us to a decider. Back in Sydney this Wednesday on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Some of the key issues leading into this, Cameron, it could, in the end, look like a masterstroke if Cameron Munster thrives with C next to his name.
Well, a huge decision, wasn't it, to leave Daly Cherry Evans out. Skipper of the Maroons, played 26 Origins, 20 consecutive as halfback. But we've got a new captain now, Queensland, wearing a pretty famous jersey too, Brace, the number 6 jersey. Wally Lewis, Darren Lockyer, of course, captaining the state with the number 6 jersey. And look, this man's produced at this level many, many times before. But this, on a personal level, this will be his biggest test. His biggest challenge is to lead this team out here, down 1-0 in a neutral venue. It's
Smithy, do you think
a place where they're up against it, the Maroons.
Do you think it's a sign that how much they need Cameron Munster to have an absolutely fantastic game? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he's not even the captain for his club side. Harry Grant is. And Harry Grant's also in the side.
Yeah, well...
For me, look, I don't want to say a sign of desperation, but it looks to me like they really need him to have a big game.
Well, no doubt. He's one of a lot of players that need to have a big game, Gal. But, I think Cam Munster, he's... the position that he's in and the X factor that he brings to the Maroons, I think that's probably a part of the move from Billy, is giving him the C next to his name to say, hey, mate, look, listen, you need to go out there. You've got an extra responsibility now to lead this team around the park and go out there and play well. We can't have a 6 or a 7 out of 10 game from you. It's got to be 9 or a 10 out of 10 from you. And generally speaking, that's where the best players... That's how they finish games. They finish 8, 9, 10 out of 10.
Gus, the forward dominance for the Blues in game 1. Do you see a way that Queensland can try and right that?
Well, I don't see it in the selection process. I don't see it there. But, it's an attitude thing. It's a possession thing. It's not giving away penalties and dropping the ball and making their tackles. There is no doubt in my mind that this was the overriding force in the game, was the forward barrage in the first 25 minutes that New South Wales dominated, and it virtually set the tone for the game. So far as the captaincy with young Munster, I thought he was the only choice. I mean, why would you pick a captain that wasn't going to play 80 minutes? And when you look through the rest of the team, there's not an 80-minute survivor there that's due to be captain of that side. You could go with Harry or you could go with Tino and those sort of blokes, but there's no guarantee either of those are going to play the full 80 minutes, where Munster has to, and he has to have a good performance for Queensland to win. The forward battle, I'm not seeing it in the selection process, whether they've got another strategy, whether they're going to change the starting lineup. I don't think they can win with the team that they've picked, as it looks on paper. I think there's got to be another strategy behind it. If they go out with that first 17, as on paper, I just can't see them changing it on what happened in game 1.
What will Billy want to be seeing from Tom Dearden in that 7 jumper with no DCE now?
Well, I think he'll want him to play the way he always plays. He attacks the opposition with his leg speed. He attacks the opposition. He loves running the football, as we can see here. He made a difference when he came on the field in the first game. I know the game was well and truly in control with the Blues at that stage. And it's a different thing, and Gus mentioned that post-game in Brisbane. It's a very different prospect starting the match to what it is like coming on in, the 60th minute. I think he come on something around that. But I think, Billy he'll be encouraging Tom to take the game on, through his running game, through his kicking. And the one thing he really enjoys doing is defending. He doesn't mind mixing it, with the bigger boys. So when you listen to the guys that have done so well in, the number 7 jersey at this level, when you're talking to guys like Andrew Johns, it's all about getting that part of your game right first, your defence, making sure that you have strong contact against the back rowers who are going to line you up and try and run over the top of you.
Yep.
I'm sure Tommy's had that mindset all week, but if he gets that right, he should have a good game.
Smithy, do you think they'll start with Harry? I mean, Kurt Mann for me, Harry's played, I think, started 6 games. You're the greatest the one Queensland's had. You generally played 80 minutes. Harry was found out to be game 1. His discipline wasn't great, both with errors in the ball and penalties. He was hammered in defence. Do you think they'll take him out of the that hardest part of the game, the first 20 minutes? He's none from 6 starting, I think that's
none from 4, I think.
None from 4,
yeah. Look, I'm a fan of Harry Grant starting on the bench. I think it allows him to play his game when he comes on. It keeps him out of that barrage of the first 20 minutes where it's just bash it up footy.
Yep.
Right? They just really all they're doing is belting the crap out of one another. Really, that's all. It's a softening up period.
Yep.
And then the key position players they take over. They start getting their set plays on and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know if Billy will change it, mate. I really don't. I think he likes Harry starting. But I completely understand where you're coming from. Having someone like Kurt Mann start and go out there and make 20 tackles and then throw Harry on.
The big news for the Blues in the past week, Gus, has been the loss of Mitch Moses, not just for game 2 but for the series.
Yep.
And so what it means is Nathan Cleary, Jerome Luai back together again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and this is nothing against Mitchell Moses at all, who's done an outstanding job in Origin, filling in for Nathan Cleary, and he did an outstanding job in game 1. But to be honest, it actually makes the combination better. Luai's combination with Cleary, with Yeo, and with the fullback Dylan Edwards, they've played so much football together. In a high-pressure situation, you need to have that little bit of telepathy between the others, what they're thinking. He also gives them a left-foot kick, which on that left side of the field, which is always very advantageous, and they know when to use it and how to use it. Look, nothing against Mitchell Moses. He was outstanding, and he deserved to be picked again in game 2. But somehow I think it actually makes them stronger under pressure if the game gets down to that sort of level.
I think it makes New South Wales a little bit more unpredictable as well, having Jerome Luai there. Just the style of football that he plays, and he's a bit like a Cam Munster. You just not always sure about what he's going to do. And what he will do is he'll test the middle forwards out. Yep. Every time that ball goes out to the left-hand side, if there's space or he doesn't feel any pressure coming from any defenders, he'll come off the left foot, he'll skip across, and he'll ask plenty of questions of the middle forwards. We'll
catch up with Laurie Daley shortly, see how that combination is going as they reunite Cleary and Luai for the Blues. Now, something a little different here for our 100% Footy on the Road special ahead of Origin on Wednesday night. The Hello Sport Boys, Tom and Eddie, dropping by, and ahead of their debut on the show, they dropped their latest pod, going one-on-one with the 8th Immortal.
Well, the thing we've always heard is like Joey doesn't do podcasts, and it's just never stopped us asking. We're like,
before Warney, can't believe he's not with us. Me and him are going to do a podcast together.
Oh my God!
The first time I met him, I faced him at the nets at the SCG, and I got a photo with a protector. I went, when you're out with Warney, you always got to wear protection.
That's good.
Hopper would be on the bed just smoking bars. I'm like, Hopper, come on, mate, you know the rules. Shut up. And you just go over my bag, open it, just blow cigarette smoke in my bags.
When we were in the darkies, the 8 in a row, I reckon your performance in game 2 got a lot of us through that.
2006, the Knights go, look, we want you to stand down from Ripford. And when Lockie scored that try, when one in Melbourne,
Hodges threw it.
I should be out there. And then I look up in the Queensland coaching box. Guess who's coaching Queensland?
Hagen.
Michael Hagen.
Yeah.
The Knights coach. He's got me on the 2-car trip. I'm watching it and I'm just,
the 8th at his best. Tom, Eddie, great to see you boys. Geez, he looked comfortable with you two.
Look, he was. He warmed up. It took a couple of minutes to warm up, but once he got into his stride, there was no turning back.
When you're talking New South Wales greatness, I mean, he opens up like a flower, Joe. We all know that. So, pretty easy.
Hey, the best thing about Origin time, plenty of dribble out there to dissect. Has anything caught your eye in the lead up to game 2?
There's plenty, but we couldn't go past Cam Munster soiling his boots Julian O'Neill style. We were sort of, we found that one to be quite surprising. I think Puma got on board.
I'm not really sure how it worked.
Well,
yeah, there wasn't just Cam Munster though. I mean, they went to Orange, New South Wales to get a bit of dirt for Tino. Then they went over to Western Australia for Ponga, and I think, geez, they go to PNG for Coates, and maybe over to New Zealand for Bobby Toyer and Nanai. So they were all over the map, Puma. Just gathering dirt all over this great nation of ours, gentlemen.
Gotta love it. Now, is the rumour true? You guys on Freddie the 8th tonight, this week, ahead of Game 2?
That is correct. Not sure what to expect on that show. Very excited, honoured as well to be there. But
just 4 New South Wales greats, I think, talking footy.
Exactly right.
Love it. Good on your legends. The Hello Sport boys, Tom and Eddie, tomorrow night on Freddie and the 8th. Well done. Love the pod, guys. Well done. Great stuff.
Thanks.
Cheers, boys.
Good on you, fellas. Great to have them here on the show and enjoying their time in the Wild West. Stay with us. We're getting stuck into more Origin in just a moment, a little later than Maroons camp, but there's Loz. He's standing by. We'll chat with him right after this short break.
Jerome, the marriage is back on.
It's a good one.
How good are you excited?
Really excited. Bit of a contrast between, lining up against them to them in the pool. Breaking the news that I get to line up alongside Nathan again, so it's good.
You've been playing with Nathan since you were both teenagers, and really know each other's language.
Yeah, it's definitely had a bit of a chat around game planning and stuff, and memories start to flood in. We've got a few goosebumps there. I won't tell them that until we're done, but so excited to be playing with him again.
Got an 88% success rate being class participating in the NRL. Does that give you a big bit of chance to
I don't really look too much into numbers and things like that, but I just know the work that he puts in, and that's where I get confidence from. Like playing alongside guys like that, we all work hard and get confidence from our preparation. That's where this has all started. So guys like Critter, Bizarre, Spence, guys I'm really close to, I'm really excited to link up with again, and sort of like the band's back together again.
That is glorious football by New South Wales in the acrobatic put down by Brian Tucker.
How did you feel watching Game 1?
It was a different perspective, but just you're sort of watching as a fan, you know what I mean? It was pretty cool in a way, but as soon as I seen the boys run out, I knew what they were going through. I knew what I was missing out on, and you can't really help but be a bit jealous of that. That becomes a motivation for you to get back there, but so proud of the boys, how they went after the game, especially in some call.
Tommy Dearden comes in for Queensland, you'll be on your edge. Is that something you could attack, maybe to try and get it? I know you love the niggle in rugby league.
I think it's a part of the game, but I think I've watched Tommy Dearden closely. I've watched a lot of his games, and he's a great defensive half, and I think he loves that.
Do you lean back on your natural running game in these big moments and these big games?
I never want to lock myself into just do something going into a game. A big part of my game all the way through my career is just being instinctive and allowing the defence to dictate what you're going to do. So I just want to let it happen naturally.
I think the state is very excited to get behind you. Congratulations on the jersey, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, he's back. Jerome Luai in the blue once more for the New South Wales side in Origin football, and that reunites him with his old mate at the Panthers, Nathan Cleary. A great chat there between he and Alana Ferguson, and it's a pretty handy replacement when you lose someone like Mitch Moses. And Blues coach Laurie Daley joins us now from Blues camp here in Perth. Loz, great to catch up as always, mate. It's a nice thing to have, isn't it, a player like that up your sleeve for when one of your star halves goes down.
Yeah, it certainly is, James. I think that Jerome's really fitted into the squad. But as we know, it's all about what you do with preparation and how to get that right. But yeah, we've found over the last couple of training sessions, he's fitted in really well, and I'm sure he'll do a good job on Wednesday night.
Loz, you just spoke about the preparation, only the one change to your team, Big Stefano, coming in for Mitch Barnett. How's the week been? Has it been pretty seamless?
Oh, I've had a few challenges, but none we haven't been able to overcome, Cam. I think, the fact that Stefano is with us in Origin 1 camp certainly helps. He's played some really good football, in particular the last couple of weeks, and he's something that we're looking for in this team to do a role, and I'm sure he'll do that well. Barney's a loss. He was magnificent in game 1. Things that you don't usually see from a player, he does. All the Origin effort you talk about, he does it so well. So he's a leader within the group. But Big Stefano, he has to come in and play as well as Stefano can play.
Loz, game 1 you scored 4 tries to 1 and were very dominant, particularly through the middle of the field. Now, you're probably a little bit conservative and play within yourselves at times. Do you need to play more football this game or stick to the same sort of game plan?
Yeah, it's interesting, Gal, isn't it? You can play a fancy style of football and come away without a win. And it doesn't matter the style of footy you play if you win, as far as I'm concerned, in Origin. But yeah, we'd like to probably use the ball a little bit more, but I think Origin football is just about getting it done. It's not about going out there and playing attractive football if that doesn't mean you get a result. So for us, it's about knowing what we can do, knowing what we're good at, and make sure we do it well.
Laurie, I just want to go back to Jerome Ropati. He was on the outside looking in Origin 1. Has he brought any new perspective or new thoughts on what Origin 1 looked like? And has he brought anything extra to the team that you mightn't have considered previously?
He certainly has plenty of energy about him, and he's got a confidence about him that has been really good. To bring a player in that has fitted so seamlessly into the team, and with his experience and with his voice, I think has helped us adapt. Sometimes in a key position, if you lose a player of high quality like Mitch, the next person you bring in mightn't have that same confidence or belief in themselves, but Jerome is just, as I said, fitted in really well. He's an intelligent man, understands his footy very well. He's a student of the game, and players respect him and look to him to be a leader. So that's another benefit we have of having him in the team.
Yeah, Loz, you can see by the way Jerome plays, he's got a great understanding of the game. But I'm just wondering, has he picked your brain at all? Because many regard you as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Blues player to play State of Origin, and you played many times with the number 6 jersey on your back. Has he asked you for any advice during this camp?
I'm always aware, Cam, in these type of environments, not to overload players with information. They get themselves into this team because of what they've done on the field. I've spoken to him a little bit about what my expectations are of him and little things that he may look for in a game, little cues that I sort of look for when I played. But he's done way more than I have. He's a very intelligent player. Won 4 competitions, won Origin series before, and I like what he brings to this team.
Loz, before we let you go, Brian To'o's hamstring. Will he play Wednesday here at Optus?
Yeah, he will. Yep, he's a definite starter, Brian. Had some tendon issues, so we've looked after him. He hasn't done a whole heap of running, but no, he's ready to go. He wants to go. We've been holding him back a little bit. Probably could have gone a little bit harder than what he has, but no, he'll be ready to go and bouncing out of his skin on Wednesday night.
I can only imagine. Loz, good to catch up. We'll see you right here in 48 hours' time.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Good on you, Laurie Daley, the Blues coach, joining us from camp here in Perth. Relaxed as always, your old mate.
Yeah, he was. He's very, very different to Jerome Ropati, though. I can't imagine them two having much to talk about over a cup of coffee.
Well, you reckon they'd be hanging out for a coffee?
Eh?
They wouldn't be hanging out for a coffee?
Well, they'd soon work out that they're totally
different people.
Different sides of the tree.
Hey,
no, very different.
On top of Origin this week too, I love this every year, both the women's and the men's under-19 State of Origin Thursday night on 9 Jam and 9. A chance to see next generation of talent coming through, and it includes Mitch Woods, the young dog.
Yeah, there's a few Bulldogs in the lineup, and from other clubs too. Well, these games historically show you the future of the NRL. A lot of players come out of these games and go on to represent the NRL, if not at the back end of this year. Plenty of talent on display. It's their chance to play in the Blues jersey. It's part of the Pathways program for both Queensland and New South Wales. You'll find the blokes that play here on Wednesday night, a few of them would have gone around in this game a few years ago. It's a great introduction.
Absolutely.
Got a young gun brace playing for Queensland 19s as well. Marcus Bye's son.
Oh, really?
Really?
Cooper Bye.
What position?
Well,
outside back? Or?
No.
Front row.
Plays middle forward or back row.
Yeah,
he's about 6'3".
He's with the goal.
Marcus Bye.
No, his son. Yeah, completely different to Marcus.
Marcus Bye was shorter than me, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's about 5'2".
Wow.
He's with the Gold Coast, is he?
He's with the Titans.
He'll play first grade very soon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, bring it on. Thursday night, you'll see under-19 State of Origin women and men. Stay with us. We've gone for the Blues camp. After the break, into the Maroons camp here in the Wild West as we count down to State of Origin number 2. It is must-win here at Optus for the Maroons. As we head to the break, though, the star of last year's under-19's Origin.
Forthright in defence there as well. Ward Stewart, he couldn't get the ball away. He might need to. Stewart powering and gets it down. He's going to hit a plane at that area. Goodness me, whacks the ball. And Stewart's had a blinder. Chevy's gone straight through.
Yeah, he
He's showing all the skills. Elliott spins one over the top, bounces up, tap back. New South Wales has still got it. Danger Stewart on the inside to Arthur. What about that? A New South Wales miracle try.
Here it comes, the end of the series. The Blues have won. He's like Queensland.
It's got to be one of the proudest moments of my life.
What a fantastic night. It's just a dream come true, and this is probably the best day of my life.
Just enjoy being back out here. It's what footy's all about. I'd like to thank everyone for letting me be involved.
You've waited 4 years, but for the next 12 months, this is yours.
Jeez, it's great to be a Queenslander, mate.
Thank you, Queensland.
I reckon you're the greatest person that's ever pulled on a maroon jersey, mate.
My heart is racing. The crowd got behind us. That got us home, mate.
For the 5 million people back in New South Wales.
Mitchell, you've won a decider. We listen to that crowd. And on behalf of the worst ever Queensland team, thank you very much.
Is it your last one?
Yeah, that's it, mate. I've got a little girl to look after now. I love her very much.
Go and enjoy it, mate.
Just to be able to finish on a great side, it just feels unreal, mate. It feels great.
I say thank you and goodbye.
Munster with the try.
Unbelievable.
The Maroons have got it 1 now.
Well, if we needed a reminder of just how special State of Origin footy is, we got it just there. Cameron Munster on screen there. He is the skipper this time around for the Queensland Maroons. Was meant to be joining us here on 100% Footy. Instead, he's thrown the hospital pass to his mate Harry Grant, who joins us. Harry, thanks for turning up, mate. Where's your friend?
G'day, boys. Yeah, I think he must have had a bad round at golf. He's, he hasn't come back yet, so he's obviously hasn't hit him as well as he would have liked, and he's still looking for his balls out there somewhere.
Yeah, toys are out of the cot. Mate, obviously it's all on the line now for Queensland here in Perth. How has it been in this camp as maybe compared to that first one?
Yeah, it's been really good preparation, really good camp. You know, things are a little bit different the second time round, and you know, first camp you've probably got a little bit more media commitments, and the first few days are sort of written off in that sense. And yeah, this time we got straight into our footy, which was pretty good, and you know, feel like we've got a bit more of an understanding, a bit more feel for each other's games and where we need to really improve on from game one. And yeah, we've had a good week of preparation, and now it's just final touch tomorrow and then take that into the game.
Harry, I wanted to ask you about Cameron Munster. Sometimes when a player's named captain, they forget they got named captain because of what they actually did, and they try to change themselves. Has he changed himself at all, or has he remained the same old Cameron Munster that we all know this week?
Yeah, I think exactly that. He hasn't changed one bit. He's still being himself, and you know, that's exactly right. That's what's got him to this point, and I think it's, you know, all the good times and the bad times along the way, the journey that he's been on, that's, you know, made him the person he is, the player he is, and why he's in that position. But he hasn't changed. He's still the larrikin. But the one thing about Munster is he cares about his footy, he cares about his teammates, and you know, he's a real footy head. So when it comes to it, he's very switched on with it all.
Harry, Billy decided to bring you guys over early this time around. You travelled over here Friday, I believe, so you've been here for a few days. What's it been like over here in the West in your preparation?
Yeah, it's been good. I think last time round we come over a little bit later, and yeah, probably just took a couple extra days to adjust. You know, it's 2 hours time difference, but it definitely knocks you around a little bit. So I think it's been really good to sort of have those extra couple of days just to adjust the body clocks and adjust the preparation, the routines, and make sure everyone's recovered from the flight. And then, yeah, we trained yesterday and had a really good session there. And, yeah, today's been a full day off, and everyone's been able to do what they like, and then we'll hit captain's run tomorrow.
Harry, in game one, the Queensland playmakers really didn't play much part. They didn't get much opportunity, didn't have a lot of field position, never got a good quality ball to play their stuff. Now, on the outside, we're just saying it's because the forwards got dominated. Was it as simple as that internally, and how is it going to be different this time?
No, I think it's a combination of things. I think, personally, I know there was a lot of outcome-based thoughts for me personally, but I know everyone else had different thoughts, and it's about, sometimes bringing that all back together and what's really important for the team at the time, and obviously discipline was a big one. We give them a fair bit of momentum, a fair bit of field position and possession through our discipline, and I'll put my hand up and we'll all put our hand up. We need to be better in that regard, and hopefully if we tidy those few things up, then we can play the footy that we want to play, and the footy that we prepare to go into State of Origin playing.
All right, well, the game one performance cost the captain his job, a long-serving captain, Daley Cherry Evans. We've heard from the coach, we've heard from people around the Queensland camp. Amongst the playing group, do they feel any responsibility for that? What's been their attitude to such a drastic change after game one?
Well, I think the attitude from the players is more, appreciation for Ches and what he's done for us as a playing group, individually and as a team over, I first started with Ches in 2020. So since then, he's been in my Origin career, and he's been a big, a great sounding board, a great mentor in that regard, and a great teammate. So it's more so appreciation for that. And then, now that's done, and all those decisions are out of our control. So we just got to make the most of what's next. And I'm really excited for the opportunity for Tommy Did, and I played against him last weekend. I know how dangerous he is as a player with and without the ball, and I know what he brings to a team. He's an ultimate competitor, and hopefully he can perform well on Wednesday night. But in saying that, hopefully we can have 18 Queenslanders that perform well.
Harry, a lot of people asking questions around the lineup and whether that will look 1 to 17 come Wednesday night. Is it going to change, or will it stay as named?
Yeah, no, it'll stay as named at this stage. Bill hasn't had those conversations. Good as. Good. Nah, that's
nice work, mate. I love it.
Unless he throws he throws a spanner in the works last minute. But it's 1 to 17, and there's always plans around that, and how the interchange and the bench and all that will be used. But you can't be so fixated on that because it's Origin, and things can go out the window pretty quickly. So, but yeah, to answer your question, 1 to 17.
Good on you, Harry. And we'll see you here in a couple of days' time, mate. All the best for the big game.
Good on you guys, and if Munster was getting a matchy for this, I'll take a little bit of a clip. Thanks, guys.
Well played. Mic drop out. Harry Grant, superstar on and off the field, isn't he? Now, in the countdown to a must-win game for Queensland here Wednesday night, our tab top 3 tonight, we've decided to go with Game 2 Get Squares, because that's exactly what Queensland need to do. Dug into the archives, coming in at number 3, 2008. The second game, GI doing GI things.
Well, he just went mad, didn't he, that night? He just got the ball, he ran right on that left edge. He gave Mark Gasnier
copped it.
Oh, and Steve Turner nightmares. Just ran over the top of them all night. Look at that, juggling. What an incredible player he was for Queensland.
He wasn't fair. It wasn't fair.
Too good. Way too good. Coming in at number 2, another Queensland moment. This one, back in 2017, JT. It's when he had the bung shoulder.
Yeah, no, he did this with a torn rotator cuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, did it in the first half, actually. So that was to put us 2 in front and to send us to a decider.
Well, that's when he's come home too. The Blues are in front.
Yeah.
A fair bit.
Yep.
They come home and got you in front of that kick, and he's running to win the match.
Yeah.
Was that game?
I think there's about 4 minutes to go, Gal. 3 or 4 minutes to go.
Leads Maroon, that bloke on screen, doesn't he? No doubt about that. But the favourite, then you can't go past this one. Game 2, 2005. The 8th Immortal at his absolute best in his comeback game. And the Blues win Game 2, level the series, and then go on and get the job done. Gus.
It was a masterclass. At the back end of his career, he played plenty of Origin. He'd been in winning, losing teams, and he'd won premierships by this stage. And he didn't play in Game 1. They brought him back for Game 2. There was a lot of question marks as to whether or not he still had the fire and still had the game to do it. Well, he just put it all to bed very, very quickly, and it was absolute masterclass in halfback play that night. Absolutely brilliant.
We'll never forget that night.
I was involved in that game. I don't think I've ever played a single game of football where an individual has won it for his team, ever, like that.
Yep.
But there's been some brilliant individual games that I've experienced in my career, playing with and against those individuals, but that night is just incredible.
Just watching the introduction to this segment where they went back and showed all the great players saying their goodbyes in Origin. You know, your Wally Lewis's and Darren Lockyer's and Alan Langers and Brad Fittler's and all saying goodbye. Made me feel even more sorry for Daly Cherry Evans. He doesn't get that goodbye moment after a great career. They've said goodbye for him. He doesn't get to stand there on the field of battle, win, lose or draw at the end of the series and say, well, this is my last time. They've made the mind up for him, and I think it's been pretty unceremonious, actually. I think it's very, very ordinary, to be honest.
He'll be a frustrated spectator Wednesday night, no doubt about that. Little side spot there from the great Augustus. Now, stay with us. More to come in just a moment. We're at Optus Stadium tonight, Scuttlebutt Central. There's Michael pretending to make a phone call and look busy. He'll have some news for us very soon. We're one-on-one with the Perth Bears CEO as well. We're in Perth tonight for Origin 2. We're back right after this.
Well, Anthony, the obvious question, why'd you take on this job?
For me, the chance to start a national sporting franchise in my hometown was just such an exciting proposition and opportunity that was too good to pass up.
What about your rugby league knowledge? Are you going to hide away from the fact that you aren't a rugby league guru, or are you going to own that?
No, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I'm a passionate NRL advocate. I fell in love with the game when I was at the Daily Telegraph. I'm not going to pretend that I could write the almanac on the NRL. But what I do know is Western Australia.
Do you think the people of Perth will embrace this team when there is a feeling that it is a Sydney team being relocated to Perth?
What I've found so far from listening to both sides of the country is that they're very similar. They're passionate, they're parochial, they've got a bit of chip on their shoulder. They want to get back into NRL and prove something. So I'm very optimistic and confident that the Perth Bears will be embraced by the Perth community. And there's a lot of talk about Perth being an AFL town, but really what Perth is a sports town. And so they will definitely embrace the NRL. In terms of sponsors, we've already got a line out the door of people that want to work with the Perth Bears. I think we can very quickly become a commercial giant of the NRL.
It doesn't look like they're going to roll out the welcome mat for you or the Bears. There's a lot of criticism of yourself personally in the Western Australian media.
I learned a long time ago to ignore the noise, right? And you can't let external voices impact your own internal measure of success. All I know is that I've been blown away by the messages of support and the messages of excitement.
How big of a role will North Sydney play in the Perth Bears?
My most important first job is to ensure that we respect, pay homage to and take the North Sydney Bears fans and community with us on this journey. It's our foundation club. And it's a really powerful thing, really unique in Australian sport, right? That we're going to have a group on the east and a group on the west working together for a brand new franchise.
So tell me, are we going to see an NRL game on North Sydney Oval?
I think anything's on the table. I mean, North Sydney Oval is just such a beautiful, historic, landmark ground. I mean, I'd love an upgrade of it. I think the entire sporting community of New South Wales would welcome that and would benefit from it.
The appointment of Mal Meninga, what homework did you do before coming to the decision with the NRL that Mal's the right fit for the Perth Bears?
Like any sporting fan, I know lots about Mel just from growing up. His time with the Kangaroos, his time with the Maroons speaks for itself. One of Mel's jobs as the inaugural coach is to set up what is the value system around leadership and honesty and what do we stand for and what are we playing for that I think, no one can do that better than him.
Everyone's excited for what this team will look like. Can you shed light on what Mal is thinking? What are his priority targets?
Look, I mean, I'm not going to preempt anything that Mel is up to or what he's looking at. I mean, I just don't think that's my role.
Payne Haas, Tino Fasuamalawi, someone?
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll need marquee players. We're a start-up franchise, so we will need marquee heroes to sell to the public. But look, those things, to be honest, it's just too early.
The most important question, some breaking news. Do you have any news around a potential board member might be sitting on the panel tonight? James Bracey, does he have a role in the future of the Bears or what?
Look, I can say that as the CEO, mate, I am not involved involved in that sort of stuff at all. So, you know, you have to talk to NRL land, I think, about that.
That's as good as a sacking as I've ever seen. I appreciate your time, Anthony.
Thank you so much,
Thank
mate.
you.
Yeah, righto, Chemmy. There he is, Anthony DeSegli, the Perth Bears CEO, and having a good yak there at beautiful Bear Park. A lot of insight there into what's unfolding. And it's Scuttlebutt time here. Made it to the big screen at Optus Stadium for a Scuttlebutt Central. Good chat with the boss there. How will it look once 2027 does roll around for the Bears on both sides?
Yeah, I think that being at North Sydney Oval, you get a feel. I haven't been there for such a long time, since I was on the hill as a kid. Beautiful ground, but the question, the obvious one, is can they play NRL games at North Sydney Oval? Now, the agreement between the Western Australian government and the NRL is that they've agreed to play a minimum of one trial game in Sydney and one NRL game in Sydney per year. That doesn't mean the NRL games at North Sydney Oval. There is strong talk that the Bears want to play their round 2 game in their inaugural season at Allianz Stadium against, well, I'm pointing behind me, not here, Allianz Stadium against Manly. So the old rivals, that could be something to launch there this time in
They'd
Sydney.
sell that out. Wouldn't that be something special? Now, heading elsewhere, away from the Bears, big news at Manly tonight.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day out at Manly. Coach Anthony Seibold held a series of meetings with his players. I was told there was a series of 7-minute meetings with all of his players. They were all given a document with criticism around their performances to start the year and where he wants them to improve. I was told it didn't go down well with some certain sections of the playing group. The fact that there's this providing problems rather than solutions, and also this. As a result, 2 players have been dropped to New South Wales Cup. Lachlan Croker and Jason Saab this week won't play with a bye. They'll both play New South Wales Cup. Tom Trbojevic will be relegated to the centres. He won't play fullback when Lehigh Wapawati returns. He'll take the number 1 jersey from Tom Trbojevic when they return. And then they've got 2 big games at home, Tigers and South Sydney. And there's pressure building on Anthony Seibold. I spoke to Tony Mestrov, the CEO of the Manly Seagulls tonight. He said Seibs is safe for now. He emphasised for now a number of times. Right. Those 2 performances at home are going to dictate where this goes, because there is a narrative at the moment that perhaps there's a feeling inside the playing group that perhaps Anthony Seibold has a limit to his coaching. There's limitations. There's a ceiling to what he can do at the club, and there are some frustrations starting.
So you're saying that's coming from the playing group?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been bubbling away for some time.
But I mean, you don't always get on with your boss. Your coach is your boss.
I don't think it's personal.
You don't always agree with what your boss says.
Along.
But at the end of the day, he's your boss. You got to respect what the boss says and does. He's putting his name forward, and he's the boss out there. You start questioning the boss, that's when things start to go wrong, or the coach.
Yeah, well, things are going wrong, though. Yeah, that's the thing. And it's been, them on paper, you would have had them in the top 4. Most people maybe had them in the top 4 to start the year, and the performances over the last 2 weeks have probably been alarming. So the way they respond, as I said, Tigers at home, Souths at home, it's going to say a lot about where Manly are at.
Can you see them turning it around, Gus, Manly?
Yeah, it's still half a season to go yet. I mean, it's all scuttlebutt at the moment. A long way to go in this competition. And if you're going to sack your coach at the moment, I'll be blowed if I know who you go and get. There are no coaches around, let me tell you.
Not a bad
Smithy,
point.
you're better coach the Australian team, mate.
Please, no, come on. Next subject. What do we
South, I'll save you, Smitty. South went down to the Dogs. You got some mail on the Bunnies tonight.
Yeah, a couple of club favourites, Alex Johnston and Cody Walker. They're set to sign 1-year extensions with the club to finish, well, you'd imagine finish their career at the Bunnies. Both finish up one club men. Cody Walker, there was talk around a 2-year deal. There was hope, I think, from his management to get a 2-year deal done, but South Sydney, their preference is a 1-year deal with Cody Walker. He has been hampered by a few injuries of late. And Alex Johnston, the club gave him permission to look around. Well, he's off contract, but they said, do it with our blessing and come back to us, and they did. They've decided to pen a deal to make sure that he finishes his career at South Sydney, a 1-year extension, and hopefully by that time, break the record for the most tries.
Well, what's he got, 11 to go? Is it 11
Is it 11 now? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
so ridiculous.
Good news for South.
Yeah, great news. So remember the toing and throwing over his last contract with them as well. Now, finally tonight, the Panthers host of players in Origin. Bit tricky for them this weekend.
Yeah, it is. Don't expect them to back up. The talk out of Penrith is that they won't back up. They've got to travel from Perth to go to Auckland and play. Now, the scheduling, it's a 3-day turnaround. There are no flights for them, business class flights. They have to fly economy. It's either 6 a.m. on Thursday morning, and they could be on the back of a series win, or fly out the next night, that Thursday night, and arrive on Friday morning. It's going to be a huge logistical nightmare for Penrith to try and navigate. And the worst part of that is they then have to back up 5 days later if they do travel to Auckland and play the Bulldogs. So the Panthers are a bit frustrated with the scheduling, the fact they have to go. The NRL would have known that the Panthers will be heavily represented. Now they've got to go from Perth to Auckland to try and play and salvage their season and try and get into the top 8. But the talk out of Penrith is they won't play.
I think when you look at the Panthers' last 3 or 4 or 5 seasons, they've had a number of players play, but they've always been going so well, they've been able to rest them. That's the issue for them this year, where they're not going as well as they have been in the past, that they basically, you'd think they would have had to back up every game, but logistically this one's going to be just too hard.
Yeah, well, I think they're saving themselves for Gus's Dogs, so it should be a cracker in a week's time.
Brilliant. Great stuff, Chemmy. While we got you here, what year were you born?
88.
Okay, so not 1991, because our cash conversion of the week, we're digging real deep in the archives here. You'll remember this one quite well, Gus. Michael O'Connor. Oh.
Yeah, this was a big night. This was the Mark Geyer, Wally Lewis night. And in the dying stages of the game, it curled one back against the breeze and against the rain to level the series for New South Wales. They went on and lost in game 3. I think they lost by 2 points, 4-2 or 6-4 or something or other, but that kept the series alive. It was a great kick.
Ridiculous.
Leather ball too, in the wet. Not easy to do.
What a superstar, Michael O'Connor. Stay with us. You're watching 100% Footy. We're at Optus Stadium tonight, where Freddie in the 8th will be coming to you as well. The boys are going to drop by for a chat in just a moment. Look at them, loving it out there on the pitch. Back right after this. Welcome back to Optus Stadium, where Freddie in the 8th will be with Danica Mason tomorrow night, right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Big show to preview the big match. And I'm pleased to say, ahead of their filming, the boys are joining us tonight. Here, hello, fellas.
Hello, James.
What's doing?
Just doing our best. Yeah. How good is it out here? Yes. Beautiful ground.
Are you fresh in today?
Yes. Not long in. Perth's buzzing. I've realised everywhere you go, everyone's talking about the footy.
Oh, they got their own NRL team. Now, is the word true that Mitchell Johnson, cricketing?
Joey can't hear, by the way, so
okay.
Yeah.
You just keep smiling, Andrew. Mitch Johnson on the show tomorrow.
Lefty.
How good?
He was wild, wasn't he? In form. Yes. He was great to watch. You imagine him on these wickets over here with lots of bounce. But he was that team through those Australian years. How good were they?
He had some serious mongrel in him too, didn't he? He didn't want to get you out, he wanted to hurt you. Should be playing rugby league. He's from North Queensland.
Yeah. He came over in his 20s, so he knows plenty about the footy. But what a great player, great team that was.
Absolutely. Bit of footy talk. Brad, go back to 2019, coaching the Blues, lose game 1, go into game 2, was here in Perth. Raft of changes, and you end up obviously taking out the series. Billy's had to make a few changes to try and get the result here as well. It worked wonders for you when you look back on it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just got to, I suppose, back your instinct. And I remember Fergo throwing this pass in this game, which was one of the best passes I've ever seen. He just turned his back and threw it about to the middle of the field. But Tom Trbojevic scored 3 tries. And the conditions, it poured at one stage. It was just pouring rain. I've got to say, when I look back on that game, it's one of the most finely executed performances I've ever seen in these conditions by any rep team.
Where would you rate that as an individual performance by Turbo? It'd be up there, wouldn't it? Best individual performance for New South Wales.
Well, look where he scored his tries. He was the right centre. He scored all his tries pretty much on the left side. And that was before. I remember in one series, we pretty much said to him, you can play where you like. And he just, ran it himself. But in that game, same thing. As soon as he saw any sort of, little glimpse of a break or a gap, he just curtailed it towards the ball. He was brilliant.
That was a big win, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a great win. We needed that. And we ended up winning on the bell, actually. James Tedesco scored on the bell when we played the last game in Sydney. I think it was 79 minutes and 40-something seconds. It was an incredible moment as a coach, I've got to say. It was, to come here after losing game 1, which I think it's about a 72% record if you win game 1. So come here, win game 2, and then get the shield in game 3. It was, awesome experience.
Bit of rain forecast between now and Wednesday night, so fingers crossed it holds off on the actual night. Thanks, fellas. Looking forward to Freddie in the 8th tomorrow night.
No.
Pass on our best to Joey, please, Fred.
Thanks, James.
Hi.
Thanks, James.
Kenny. Oh, too good. Thank you, fellas. It's going to be some show with those two teammates. My goodness. Now, new segment here. The Ampol Power Surge Podium. looking at some key moments from the round that was. Gal, this one stands out. Dragons fans, close your eyes.
Yeah, Shannon Katoa charged down, somehow kept it in there, and that was his second try of the night. He's had a good couple of weeks back. He come back from a shoulder reconstruction. Last week he absolutely busted himself. He had a sore knee, a sore ankle, but managed to turn out against the Dragons and had a bit of a blind and scored 2 great tries.
Bronze medal there for the Sharkies, and Katoa running away like he did there, clinching the game for them. Let's go to number 2 tonight. Gus, your man, Jacob Preston.
Yeah, well, the game was still in the balance there. It was only 6 points the difference getting down to the final minute of the game, and Jacob Preston hasn't played for 5 weeks because of suspension. But there he was in the last minute of the game, making a big play to force a turnover and just close it out for the Bulldogs. It was a game I didn't think they were ever going to lose, but the score got close enough at the back end, and he made sure there was no miracle.
He's all heart, Jacob Preston. And top of the podium tonight, Jack Bostock. 1, 2, 3, 4. He was counting the tries as he went over for his last one.
Yeah, he was counting them out for the North Queensland faithful. Tough night for the Cowboys.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, the Dolphins on a roll, and this man here, he's playing a huge part in it. 4 tries. Well, pretty simple ones in the end, but he scored a couple of spectacular ones there. That was a nice little intercept. There it is.
You know,
he bombed one for 5.
You know, he should have scored 5.
Yeah.
It was the greatest butch you've ever seen of a butcher. He absolutely ruined. I thought he got number 1 because he ruined it. Honestly, it was a dead set. Easiest try a wing can score. Wingers. Seriously,
Really?
Mate, he had to catch the ball and put it down. He dropped it. Didn't you see it?
I missed it.
Oh, mate, it was horrendous.
Jeez, you've done a good job of turning a positive into
Yeah,
a
well, mate,
negative there,
4 tries. I think I scored 4 tries in the year once or twice, but well done. But, mate, you bombed that one.
120-odd points they've scored in the last 3 games.
Yeah, flying.
They are.
They're flying.
6th.
Absolutely flying.
1
58. What was it? 58 to 4.
4.
In Townsville. 58 to 4 in Townsville. No Hamaso.
Crazy. Good team. Got them humming. Christian
They're a
Wolf
good
at the moment. Stay with us. We're going to wrap things up from Perth on your Origin special here at Optus Stadium right after the break. Great to have your company here on 100% Footy from Optus Stadium in Perth, where 60,000 fans will be sitting in that very stadium on Wednesday night, hopefully with no rain coming from above. So now it is time for our bold predictions for the big one. Game number 2. Who wins? By how much? Player of the match. Simple. Gal.
Blues to win by 10 points, and the player of the match will be Nathan Cleary.
Okay. Cameron?
I've got Queensland.
Of course you do.
By 8. I'm thinking a lot of points in this one. We need to score points, Queensland. Haven't scored many in the last couple of games. 30 points to 22.
Ooh.
Man of the match. New skipper. Cam Munster.
Okay. Top dog?
I can find 4 or 5 tries for New South Wales. I'm struggling to find 2 tries for Queensland.
Ooh.
1 or 2. I think it's 4 or 5 tries to 1 or 2. So if they all kick the goals, 30 to 12 would be my scoreline. And man of the match, Dylan Edwards, the fullback for New South Wales.
Yeah.
You love Dylan.
I don't think it'll be close.
You reckon it'll be a...
Sorry, I know you all want to decide it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here from the Oracle. We're done. Thank you, Gal.
Is that it?
Thank you.
You can do some training over in Perth?
Nah, a couple of days off, mate. I'm a bit sore. This whole body's...
Looking fit,
He
though,
needs
mate.
a massage.
Yeah.
Need a
Long flight today.
massage, yeah.
Massage.
Is there one... You get me one?
Yeah, sure, I'll show you, mate. Wait, after the stitch up at the start, actually didn't show me one, thanks. Thank you, Gus.
Thanks, James.
See you Wednesday night.
Yeah, well, I went down 2 roads today called the James Bracey Boulevard. You are big over here, aren't
Oh,
you?
please. Perth Bears, baby.
Yeah.
How good. Number 1 ticket. Loving life over
Big
here
Papa.
in the West. Big Papa. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your company at home as well. Sorry about these mugs. We'll catch you Wednesday night, exclusive live and free from Optus Stadium. State of Origin 2. Bye for now.